Cheers, radio.
Boom, we're back. It's episode 71. I've been gone for like 2 months. It's been hectic. The holidays, things get around. Either way, we're back. We had a little, what is it? What do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? A little, I don't know, vacation, whatever. And hiatus, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Albie's in the bathroom behind me, and he'll be joining us in a second. But thanks for hanging with us, guys. It's been a minute. Changes coming. More people coming on the podcast. Albie's here. And boom, this guy just jumped in. For those of you watching, you see that.
Right. It's good to be back. Let me
Boom.
pull this up to...
For those of you who don't know or started listening to the podcast a little later on, Albion actually started the podcast together three years ago. Maybe 3 years ago.
Like 2.5, because it
2.5?
was before I moved.
Yeah,
Slightly before.
and he had opportunities open up to him in Texas, and he had to move back or whatever. Long story short, I kept the podcast going. But he's in town, so I was like, dude, let's squeeze an episode in.
Dude, I mean, we filmed I was on like the first 32 of them or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, after I left, we've been busy, right? You've been taking it a new direction, a cool direction. And of course, you still haven't lost that habit where you're telling me how to fucking stand and sit in front of the
you're hitting
remote.
You're hitting your head on the.
I'm just trying to chill, dog.
Okay, well, scoot your chair forward so you don't hit your head on that.
Ay, chingado.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks.
Okay. Is that
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be back. I was telling him. I was saying that it's been the longest we've been away. I was away for like 2 months since we started. I don't think I've gone that long without recording.
Damn.
Yeah. So. But I also needed a breather, man. People don't realize it takes a lot to like work a fucking podcast. And also, we're getting shirts. Oh, I got to give you a shirt, Remy.
Oh, hell yes.
All our shirts design that'll be dropping soon. We have new designs coming out. We're gonna launch our whole line. It's gonna be pretty tight. But it's like, getting all that shit in line, and then on top having a career in the holidays and shit. So
yeah,
it takes effort. But
hey, this is episode like 71, right?
Yeah, 71.
What was cool is that so I thought the very first one was filmed in this room, but we filmed pretty much all of them here.
In here, yeah, a lot of them.
And so I was here to film the first one, and now the day I happen to be coming into town,
so last
2 years later, he's in transition, moving to the next room studio over, and
it's nicer, it's cooler,
and
it's
now,
gonna be dope.
Yeah, and so it's like it's
full
coming
circle.
full circle
Yeah.
for show, and you gotta love how life is like that.
I'm drinking a beer right now. For those of you.
Yeah, man.
This is not a sponsor. This is not a sponsor, but they make a good beer. What's up, Modelo? Give us some.
Good.
Give us some money.
They are good, you know.
Yeah, I don't drink beer, but Albie's like, "It's a celebration." I'm like, you know what? It is a celebration.
Bitches. Mazel tov.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of tight because what I really want to dive into is your whole transition into what you're doing now, with your business out in Texas and how like coming out here to LA. You go and chase your curiosities. That's why we call this curious radio, because you and I kind of clicked on that.
Dude.
We just chase our curiosities, and that was the name. We went back and forth a few times, but
yeah, I was thinking about that today. Like, one of the options were like Third Eye Division or something.
Some stupid dude. I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. Let's just keep it fucking simple.
Thank God I was reading Curiosity by Brian Grazer.
Oh yeah, another book.
And then I was like, dude, let's do it Curious Radio, and
Yeah.
we can just dive into shit.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. But yeah, you came out here chasing your curiosities and kind of like saw what the beast of Hollywood is in some ways. And
I was trying to find my craft as an artist,
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think is part of the journey that people are scared to do, like to abandon things or to try new things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like when we start to do things and we almost identify with it. So like you see a lot of people out here that are like, I'm an actor, and
that's one thing that was getting me is like I would go and I would do one of side gigs, catering, and I'd be catering with these 50-year-old still actors, and I'm like, hey, what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm a writer. Yeah. I'm like, bro, like, I hope you're hustling and grinding because I see you here every day. So
it's hard for you. How are you? like, you know, you're saying you're an actor, or you're a writer, or you're this. How often are you writing? How often are, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to, I know a guy, a buddy of mine, he's a writer. He's a writer on Empire now. And he was a guy who's one of those guys that was writing when he wasn't getting paid for it every day. Like, he had a regimen. He went to the same Starbucks every day and wrote. And that's what makes it in this town. You know what I mean? And
you got to be willing to do it for free.
Yeah. And he would just go and write every day. And I it's so weird that he, like, people would walk into that Starbucks and talk to him, and he met a bunch of people, and, you know, that going through there and whatever. Like, it's I feel like if you just chase your curiosity, and if it's something that sparks your interest, you got to just do it just for the sake of doing it, not to seek some end result, because then that's when you become jaded. You know what I mean? Like, when you're like, I should have this, I should have that, you know what I mean? Instead of just being like, this is cool, I'm making cool shit.
Dude, essentially, I just lost sight of what I was trying to do with my life. And, like, for me, I finally realized that it's just because I'm an artist, and like, I thought I had to be this one thing, and it's just like one paintbrush and shit.
Well, we're sold that, you know, this town is sold because there's a market.
Dude,
for sure. You know what I mean? Like, there's acting schools and headshots for actors, and there's industries built off of this shit. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and so essentially what happened was that I was offered a position back to Texas shortly, like 3 months after my daughter was born, and I was really at a point where I was looking for meaning in my life. Not meaning because she offered meaning, but now I had to find, like, what am I going to create now to support my family? Because I wasn't going to raise her in that 800 square foot apartment in North Hollywood. Yeah. Which is where she was born, by the way. We had a natural birth. And we're actually doing that with the second one.
Nuts.
Thankfully, in a much bigger living room.
Yeah. You guys got a nice place up there. I love that place.
It's
same
cozy.
place, right? You're in the
it's
same
cozy,
place?
Yeah. Man, I love it too.
I love that place.
Big open ceilings. And so it was just an opportunity opened up, and then I went as a videographer. And so the thing was, it was
to paint the picture a little bit. It was a YouTube channel, a successful YouTube channel. And
looking for a full-time videographer.
Yeah. And we had just, you know, working in this industry, you learn a thing or two about cameras. You just because you're around this shit, you know what I mean? And at least us. I mean, I know I'm always curious. I'm always like, what's that? What's this? What's that? Asking questions.
Yeah, I mean, you have to if you're out here.
You have some knowledge of it.
Yeah, for sure. And so I had more of an editing knowledge. And so then whenever I submitted for this thing, I was like, I just bullshitted everything. I showed him stuff that I'd been in. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I did this. And
he's like, okay, this is good.
I said I helped create it. I didn't, I did help create it.
Yeah. You're like, that's me.
So I was offered a position, and I was like, fuck. I told them a salary, and they took it. I was like, wow. Okay, so then let me fucking go. But I had to learn the camera because I told them I'd be there in a month, and I had to learn the whole exposure triangle for camera. I had to learn how to use a fucking camera from aperture to shutter speed and frame rate.
You really dug yourself a hole, bro. You're like,
in 1 month.
Yeah.
And I went straight to YouTube Academy and learned everything. Not everything, but like
whatever.
As far as the camera, I learned so much.
Yeah.
But it was like, it wasn't until I got into that I really started finding, like, I really fucking enjoy this. And then I started getting better at it, understanding it more. And then more and more clients were like blown away. And I think it all has to do with because I've had so much experience on sets and with other filmmakers and being here in LA. And then having seen how the processes work. And so that's another like selling point I'll tell people like in Houston.
But it does paint a better picture for you. Like if you've been an actor, but you've also been on the editing side, you have a better perspective.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. And the cool thing is, as I got better as a filmmaker and an editor and a storyteller, I started missing acting more because the people I was filming, I was like, God damn, you're not an actor. You know, I have to direct everybody.
It's tough.
And that's tough. That's a lot harder than.
But it also makes you be like a little more empathetic with directors. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I look at dude. Every time I look at work, even if it's 6 months ago, I cringe at my work because I feel like I'm right now. Next fucking show, who gets me? They're gonna have a motherfucker on their hands. So I'm sharp right now. But it's like, I think a lot of what gets you. anything in this town is just you thinking you deserve it, or you just claiming you deserve it. You know what I mean?
The
like,
self-entitlement for sure, dude.
not even self-entitlement, more of a self-worth, having a good self-worth and being like, no, I'm supposed to be here, right? And I think because you see so many people, they're like, how did they book this show? They're not that. They were just so sure of it that everybody's like, okay, well, they're sure of it. If the more sure of it you are, the more sure of it they are.
You create your own reality.
100%.
And that just showed it even more, what you just said. But then also, as like, I mean, how I got that thing, I had almost a nervous kind of breakdown because once my baby was born,
panic.
I was like, man, fuck, because I wasn't even pursuing acting at that point. Like
I remember that we had a bunch of talks about it.
I was on sets a lot because I was doing commercials.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I also
this is the craziest thing that Albie moves out here to be an actor, right? And he's like, I'm gonna be fucking Tom Cruise, and he comes out here, and it's a rough ride for a lot of us, most of us, right? And then the fucking one thing is like, yo, you have beautiful hands.
Somebody saw these puppies.
Yo, and this motherfucker booked so many things.
Dude, I made more money being a goddamn hand model.
A hand model. Dude, you can't write this shit.
Dude, you can't.
This is a movie,
That's
bro.
all I'm trying to say about life and stuff is that you can't write this.
It's like fucking Zoolander, right? You're like this hand model.
But that's the whole thing. You create your own reality. So after a while, like when I was acting and all that, like at some points, I just wasn't in sync with it. That I would feel like foolish, almost like silly, like I wasn't being real, not even to myself, not even to the character.
You were trying to portray what you think they wanted to see,
exactly, and so
instead of what you thought of it.
And I was always scared to be myself.
Me
and
too.
then like
everybody goes through that.
And then LA, then the whole thing, LA made like, because I went in there so unsure, like the industry life is pretty much what I'm saying.
Same
which
shit.
is the best comedian was like, all right, bro, you're gonna have some success. You didn't specify what kind of success.
You want to be in Hollywood working? Here's some hand jobs.
You want to be Enrique Iglesias' hands? Boom. You want to be on fucking iPad or like MacBook commercials? Boom.
Oh my god, it was so. I would trip out, and I'm happy for Albie, right? I'm like, dude, you're making all this money, and you're like,
no, dude.
But you're like, but at the same time, you're
I
like,
couldn't be happy. The whole time I was like, man, the paycheck was great, right?
Yeah, but you're like,
dude, one time I was on set of FIFA. And,
oh, that's right.
And like Kobe Bryant was there, and motherfucking Messi was there, and so the oddest request where they were like, "Hey, can you get goosebumps on cue?" And I paused. I was like, "What the fuck?" I said, "I don't know." And then another guy was so sure in his answer. He was like, "Yeah, if you put an ice cube on the back of my neck." I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah.
I said, "Sure, maybe if you put ice on the back of my neck." And that peaked. And
you're good.
And so then we get there, get in the seat, and I'm surrounded by literally 6 grown ass men, and the even like.
That's what people don't realize. Like, this is Hollywood. Hollywood is a bunch of sweaty motherfuckers.
But these motherfuckers, it was like a Swedish porno. They're all Swedish and shit. So they was like talking to me like this, and Albie, open up your shirt more, open. And I was like, oh no. And so at one point, like I had to take a mental download picture of what was going on and what I was seeing. At one point, I had 6 grown ass men circled around me, just jacking off all around. No, I'm kidding. And like circled around, circled around me. One of them was So one of them was like blow drying the hair on my arms.
Oh, to make it like stand up.
To make it look like.
So the shot that they're trying to get is they have a camera set up, and it's supposed to be like you're playing this fucking video game, and all of a sudden it's so exhilarating, this game, that it makes your fucking goosebumps and hair stand up.
Yeah, because I just scored a goal.
And they want to film that. So they're like, how do we give this motherfucker's hairs to stand up and goosebumps? Which is again odd.
This motherfucker has his blow dryer on my hand on the right side. Then you go up. One of them has they open my shirt up so that now like my shirt is also exposing my shoulders and shit like that. Yeah.
He's like, I'm really having a good time playing this game.
You got another dude behind me like grazing this ice cube so gently on the back of my like the small of my neck.
Do you like that, Albie? Albie, did you like that? It's like a fucking James Bond villain. 6 of them. Dude. Six supplets.
Now I have fucking cold water dripping down my back, down my butt crack. And
Down
shit.
your butt crack.
And
Does that give you goosebumps, Albie?
And then I have another motherfucker on the other side, right? With another blow dryer, and then I have one dude with a goddamn feather in my ear. I swear to God,
a fucking feather.
Fucking the shit out of my ear with that feather.
So that's Hollywood in a nutshell. You get ear fucked with a feather.
And so, of course, I didn't get any kind of stimulation out of it, and no goosebumps or anything.
And he had a boner. He had a rock hard boner the whole time, but didn't get goosebumps.
And I can't remember what the other guys were because there were 6. So maybe I just blocked that part out.
I lost so much energy with that.
So that's the comedian of life.
That's the comedian of life, man. And it's really ironic because, like, I don't know. And at the same time, you have to kind of go through those ridiculous experiences.
Oh, yeah.
I've been through so many of those, and that's really what makes you sure of yourself. That's why they say, like, it's the last man standing game. It's just like you're gonna go through so much like ridiculous shit where you just realize, like, damn, life's a comedian. Okay, well then fuck it. We're partying. Like I'm gonna laugh through this shit, and it just makes the ride a little bit better because you're not taking everything as serious. We had the pressure of our lives. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's kids and like feeding a family and stuff, but there's so much more unnecessary pressure that we add on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we paint the picture ourselves. We're like what we want to be or whatever. So we create that mountain instead of just being like, hey man, everything's good. Like everything's good. More would be great.
Yeah.
But everything's cool right now.
But see, I hadn't learned that yet. I hadn't learned that.
Of course, but we're all fucking learning day by day, you know?
When you truly love your craft, whatever it is, that you'll do it every day and that you'll do it for free if you had to. Because you'll still you enjoy yourself when you do it and you like yourself when you're doing it more, you know?
And that's why I feel like even a lot of these like YouTubers and Instagrammers, like people are like, oh, they just, they make success so easy. I'm like, no, those guys are fucking vlogging every fucking day. Right. And a lot of those, like you see these guys that are big YouTubers. I'm like, that's a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like, or they're like those, they're like the
dude. They have to film and then edit that shit. And
that's what I'm saying. Like they're doing it for free and shit.
That's just
even
that
like
part.
with this is a passion project, right? Like I'm lucky to make money, and I could just do shit for fun. But a lot of people are just like doing it. And I'm not expecting anything out of this. I'm just having fucking fun with my friends. If it becomes something, dope. But I already have my career on the side.
But that's the thing. This will become something just because you are doing it for the right reasons. And the thing is consistency.
It'd be cool. At the same time, like if nothing happened,
cool. By all I'm saying by that, like, I'm not even bringing money into it. I'm just saying, like, obviously, look, like it's already growing. You're moving from this studio to the one over here, and that's bigger.
Yeah.
And you gotta celebrate those fucking small wins.
Yeah. And just like, and also like having like the team is growing. Shout out to Robert editing. You
got a fucking editor,
yeah. And for a long time I was doing this shit by myself, and then shout out to fucking Espy. She's not here. She couldn't make it today.
Oh, yeah, man, I really wish she could have been here.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like Herman too. He's helping with all the design and stuff, and we have all this stuff. Like all of us just kind of becoming a little. For me, it's just like, hey man, let's just make shit. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where you're at.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And so that's what it took me 30 years to realize.
Yeah, I just turned 30, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Is that it's all about creation. Just keep creating, because the creative process, I can't explain it to you. I wish I had like some groundbreaking, metaphysical, life-changing answer that'll get you to create more, but it's as simple as when you're in the creative process and you create anything, you're opening avenues in your life to receive more.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works, probably because with the creation process,
I just feel like it's like you're pulling from you're putting out, and you have to get so you have to pull from something.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? And it's for me, like,
you can't
even having this, I just have so many life experiences, and I meet so many people, and I come across so many people, and I befriend all these people. It's just like all this stuff it kind of just builds on each other. And like, hey man, let's come on the podcast and talk about your journey. I just want to get people's. I'm curious. That's why it's called Curious Radio. You know what I mean? Like I'm curious, and it's like, it's the same thing with you. Like, I feel like you finally found something where you're like, oh, now, like, this is how
because
my voice, you know.
I always knew like when people find their craft, they love it and they're good at it.
Yeah.
And now
So now we've put in the fucking carriage before the horse. So you film. You're a videographer. You're an editor.
Yeah, we film commercials. We film weddings. We film events.
You have your company.
Yeah, so we have our own business. So like when I went out to Texas for that one videography position,
Yeah.
lasted 4 months, and then I was kicked out of mine because
Which is fine.
he got hit with well, not him, but YouTube was going through that ban and shit.
Yeah. There was a weird. Everybody changes their shit. Their
yeah,
regulations.
the advertising
and
has changed on YouTube. His business has taken a dip, but
everything's changed on everything, even Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But I was like, okay, well, great. I just left L.A.
Yeah, but it also you were looking for a reason to go back home because that's where it was close to home at least.
Yeah, I mean,
you just missed Texas.
No, but so like. Unfortunately, like my brother passed away in 2014, and when I saw the dent it left in my family, including his son, I had to be there for them, and I had to like.
That was rough, man. That was so rough. I couldn't even fathom that, bro.
Oh,
and
dude.
you like I commend you, bro, because you know you're like you really like walked with your fucking head held high, because you were also like on a spiritual journey at the time.
Dude, this whole thing is a spiritual journey.
Of course, but you were like, it was when you were focusing, like, I'm meditating, I'm doing this, and then you get hit with a real fucking test.
Oh man, that's yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're talking about that. Yeah, dude. That shit definitely.
It sends shockwaves. Like, well, I'm on cancer. Like that shit. It's the same. I get it. Like, it's just this thing where you're like, oh shit.
Definitely, but I think like because I learned meditation in 2012. Through Emily Fletcher at Ziva Meditation, and she's
great. She's an actress. She's a Broadway actress
from Anthony
Successful.
Mindel's
New
York branch, and she taught me transcendental meditation. Yeah, and you're given a mantra where you just repeat that mantra over and over, and then that's your only objective. You're not supposed to think of anything else, which you're going to because.
And I think that is when you like started questioning being an actor, right?
No, it was.
I mean, you were already questioning it, but once you started like meditating and stuff, it just started. You started like you started questioning things more and being like.
The thing was, I had fun filming when like we were filming stuff. Like,
yeah, I love that shit.
I was having fun.
We did a short film together years ago. This is the crazy thing. Albion and I go so far back that we were in. That was the first acting school I'd ever been to. I've been going there for a little bit, but that's where I met you. Acting Studios of Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was John Casablancas.
Yeah, and then it became yeah.
But we were together at John Casablancas when it was that first.
Yeah, and it ended up being like some scammy ass shit. Like they sell you this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
so
but
scammy.
And it eventually turned into something cool. And that's how it's so crazy how many people get in this industry with some scammy bullshit. Because I've had people on the podcast where like, yeah, it was some rigged shit. Like, you know, yeah. But I got in like my interest was already spiked. And that was fucking 10 years ago. Maybe 8.
Because that was in
8, 9.
That was in 2009 or 10.
Okay, it's 2018.
Fuck, 2019.
2019, bro. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. This motherfucker and I were in this acting school, right?
Wait, no. So that was 2011
when we came acting studios Beverly Hills. But I was there before that. So
but when we met, because you remember when we met, I was just about to go up north to trim bud for like 5 weeks. Yeah. And I really had to make some money. And so then I just met Rick though, and I'd been going to that school. And then he came over.
Well, the thing is, that school had a bunch of shitty actors in it, and there was only like a few people, and I was like, "This guy's good." It was a big school, and these motherfuckers made so much money, And so I had money to blow. I was still working a corporate job, and I was like, "Paying shit."
I was going because I really liked Alex, the teacher. And,
he was great. And he became the creative director after.
Yeah, and who I would call like my acting mentor. I'd call him. And then Rick came. And I was like, cool, man. Like, finally, like, another actor that actually takes it seriously. And he's chill. And, like, we hit it off, you know. And then my boys were like, hey, we're, up north in Northern California. They're like, hey, we need some help trimming some bud. It's like
Wanna make some
$1,000 a week. And I was like, hell yeah. And it's funny because I just had met Rick. I was like, well, man, I got to dip out. I got to
you were
go.
like, I'm gonna go up, and there he was like, I'm gonna go build some houses.
I said I was gonna go help build houses in the Golden Triangle.
You stupid fuck.
I mean the Emerald Triangle.
I guess weed wasn't really legal back then. This is kind of crazy. Weed wasn't really. It was, but it wasn't. Like it was.
It's very legal.
Oh, over there, yeah. But I'm just
These little
medicinally.
kids are sitting there trimming.
Yeah, medicinally or whatever. Like I don't think California had. I mean, they just went like recreational 2018.
Recreation was 2018, right when I left.
Yeah.
No, actually, when I left was whenever it got passed.
The year after, yeah. Yeah, but what the fuck were we saying? But yeah, you went up there to like build houses or whatever, and you bounced, and then you came back. But
I did my time, which is like that 5 weeks.
Yeah, those 5 weeks you went up there, and then you came back, and then
semester.
And then we were in that class, and then we fucking dude. Man, you know what's fucking crazy? I bumped into this cat, Vahe. Remember that? So I remember we had this fucking class, and it's like people in there were they wanted to quote unquote be actors, right? And it's like you realize within any industry, like how much people want it and how much
are they willing to sacrifice?
Exactly. I was a grown man in that class. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing. Like, I was a grown man. Like I already did.
Some of them were like 18, 19.
But they're in college still, like trying to like not. This wasn't their career, and this was my career. And
I was like, man, I'm leaving a corporate job. Like,
yeah.
Their parents were probably paying their shit, so we're like, whatever. And we're in there, and I bumped into him, and this guy's like, it was outside of a bar, and he's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? We hug each other, and he's like, oh my god. He's like, you did it, bro. You did. I was like, I didn't do shit. What are you talking about, bro? And he's like, no, you're living the dream, bro. And I'm like, oh, cause I make a living doing this shit. Like,
yeah.
And I guess in a way that kind of is a dream in a way, because like what is making it? I make a comfortable living. I don't have anything that I need that I don't have. So it's like, yeah, in a way, but at the same time, like in my mind, I'm like, nah. But it's just like nobody
it's more
really
like doing what you love though.
Exactly, but nobody really like sees it that far into the journey. You know what I mean? Like where you're like, oh, I don't need to do anything else. I could just do this and make money off of this. But it's like, to when you never really, that's what I'm saying. Like that naive, what I was talking about earlier, like knowing that you're supposed to be there. Like most people can't wrap their heads around that. Where you're just like, you walk into a room and it's the hardest thing. You psych yourself out, bro. When you're in an audition, like you psych yourself out because you're like, oh shit, are they gonna make a mistake? I've been in points in my career where I'm like on set. I've already booked the fucking thing. We're day 3, right? And I'm like, and you just all of a sudden start to feel self-conscious. You're like, damn, did they make a mistake? Am I the right person? Like, what if they fucking fire me? What if and this fucking thing becomes like, it sounds so stupid outside of, but it becomes this big ass thing in your head, and you carry it around. Like your confidence dwindles because like I don't know, for at least me, like walking in so naive, was like, whatever, and then you get there and like, damn, this is a big ass set.
Yeah.
My first series regular, I was like, yo, like this is this is your trailer. I'm like, oh shit, all right. Like, and you kind of but so much of that is you psych yourself out, being like, I'm not the right.
It's like they're gonna find out I'm a phony.
I'm not enough. Yeah, I'm not enough. I faked it.
Yeah,
whatever.
Inadequate.
And that's in whatever area of your life, in whatever area of your life is gonna come up that way. But it's, I don't know, defeating that is the fucking mission, man. With anything, with like just feeling like you're not enough, right? Feeling like you're not enough, you don't deserve enough, you don't deserve more. It's so easy to say that shit, but to like really be like, yo, I deserve more. It's hard, man. I look at it, I do it, and it's in my mind in baby steps. Right, like, okay, I should at least be making this much money now.
Yeah,
and then when I think it, I get it. For what I don't, it sounds like hocus pocus shit, but like I write the amounts on my calendar.
It makes sense. You get what you give, what you put out comes back, and that's just the law of attraction. That's the law of the universe.
That was the first episode we did, the law of attraction. Episode 1.
Oh, we did. Okay, so we did do that at Rob's. Now I'm remembering being at Rob's.
Yeah. We bounced around in studios. Man, I'm drunk off this beer. Thanks, Albie. I'm over here
making for an exciting episode. But it is
because I don't drink and I'm hungry. I've been fasting all day, and this is the first thing
Oh man, what the fuck? What are you fasting for?
I fast every day. I do intermittent fasting.
You don't do like breakfast or anything?
I work out. I go work out with my trainer. That's why fucking shit. That's also, I met Albion when I was thick Rick.
Oh my God.
We used to work out together. I was a big motherfucker. I was leg pressing.
You were leg pressing
1,000
lot.
pounds?
I was like, bro.
I was like a power lifter.
Just give me a few plates. I'm good.
Trying to be fucking Dwayne Johnson.
And you looked like him at the time too.
Creepy, bro. But now you got this businessman, and it's like, I feel like you're hitting a new stride. I see the quality of your content. I feel like you can tell in somebody's product when they're like, damn, when they're genuinely interested. Like, you see it. You're like, ooh, that's cool. I'm like, all right.
Oh, dude, you should see this wedding video I just did. It's like a fucking movie, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like,
people, they're tripping out over. I'm tripping out over this.
You know, it's funny. I just said this on Instagram because on my Instagram bio I put storyteller. Right. I had that for a while now because I have a teacher who like, I had it before and then I took it off, and then I have a teacher who like says it a lot. Diane Castle. She's amazing. And I was like, fuck it, I put it on my bio. Now everybody has it on their fucking bio, storyteller. But that's essentially what you're doing, right? You're a storyteller.
Yeah, dude.
And we were talking about it earlier. Like, you in a wedding, it's got to be an ability to be able to keep your calm and be able to tell a movie or a story rather in this hectic ass environment because everybody's losing their shit.
I mean, you have your normal like, there's gonna be a ceremony. There's gonna be, but what kind of ceremony, right?
Yeah.
Then there's gonna be the first dances. There's gonna be like a cake cutting. So you have your like kind of staples and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not just like the story is also framing it correctly. You know, getting like incredible shots, hitting that light just right. You know, getting the right golden hour. You know, knowing the times of day to film. Like, I learned. So going out there, you know, I started fumbling. I started that business.
Yeah.
After I got let go, I had to start my own business because I wasn't going to do a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then
I just don't think I don't think
no, yeah, me neither. And so like, I had my drone, so I was like, man, let me just try to do like filmmaking, and then I can also, like, everyone kept telling me, oh, you can make a lot of money doing drone stuff because it's so new.
Yeah.
So I tried to do everything, and then, so then one time Vanessa was at like a BNI. It's like a business mingling group kind of thing, like a chamber, right?
Like a networking event.
Yeah. And they started asking her, oh, what can you do with the drone? Like, I'm a roofer. And so we were saying we could do roof inspections. Because I was like, yeah, I can take the fucking pictures and run a report on a software. Yeah. And so they were asking all kinds of jargon and stuff. And like, we're like, okay, hold on. Our business really isn't getting anywhere. It's been 6 months. So let's focus on what we want to do. And we're like, okay, let's do video.
Yeah.
And then let's change our name to something that says that we do video. Because first we were Drone FX Pros. So it's like, you know, people were like, okay, for weddings or if they acquired, or like, are you going to bring a drone like
mansions,
into the church and stuff?
Yeah.
And so we changed it to AV Films. AV, and it has a double meaning, like a double entendre, like Albi Vanessa. Yeah. But also audio video, you know? So AV Films. And that was right at the beginning of 2018. And dude, like right away, the whole year like started off brand new. Yeah. 2017 was such a rough
and that's what
year.
I mean too. Like it was a rough year. Me too. Dude, actually, is that the year you moved there?
Mm-hmm. I moved there 2 years ago in February.
I was moving. I helped you. I drove you with you guys out there, right? Mm-hmm. So, and man, I was at a point where I wasn't booking shit, and I was just like, you hit lulls, and I was like, fuck, and I booked this thing. And I was like, man, I don't know what this is gonna do, whatever. And I was I'm gonna drive you out. I had like $100 in my account or some shit like that. Like I had gone down to nothing, savings, like nothing. I didn't have any debt, but I'm at $100. I'm like, fuck it, we're just gonna go out there, figure out. I'm gonna figure it out. And then the day we leave, I get like a $5,000 check. I don't know if you remember that. And I was like, oh fuck. Oh, like the universe is just like, all right, we're good. But it's just like.
Being down to $100 is scary. And so what happened was when we were out there, I went under. Like there was one day that we finally just tanked under zero, and that was scary.
Panic mode, bro.
But dude, that same day,
but it's also like beauty, like transcendental meditation. I'm sure helps you with that.
For sure. I guess once you hit bottom, the only place you can goes up. And so then that's when we got to change our name. But that same day, whenever like we went under, in the red, I had my friend's dad inquire, like asking me to come and help them set up their like audio booth so that she can start doing spoken words on their website.
Oh, tight.
and made a quick 800.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say.
Not quick, but made
you
800
not
bucks.
having the fear to reinvent yourself and chasing your curiosities. You know what I mean? Because that's, you know, you chase the Jonah effects. You're like, okay, having the balls to be like, this ain't working. Let's read. I don't know. This ain't. I don't. You know, if it's, you know, it's, you have to be able to do that and not take it personal. You know, because like, if you get stuck in one thing, it's not working. What's Albert Einstein said? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were able to kind of reinvent yourselves and be like,
it's all about feedback and data.
Yeah.
Life is a process of elimination. That's what I learned. And you like just
how so?
So you do stuff and you're growing up and you try to find out what you don't like. You're like, fuck, I don't want to do this at 9 to 5. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to cut that out. You're like, oh, fuck, this food kind of like gives me anxiety. This food hurts my stomach. Maybe I shouldn't eat those foods.
Cut that out. But sometimes people don't know how to eliminate things, right? Like they identify with, or it's a vice, or it's a crush.
Process. It's like you got to learn how much like pain are you going to put yourself through? Like how your stomach, like if you just want to use like food as an example.
But
like,
also like even making the change can be painful, right? It's like you're killing a piece of yourself off. You're like killing the ego. Even like, killing the ego. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. So I have a story for you. Oh my God, because it's been a minute. We haven't podcasted in a minute.
It's about time. He's been saying this all day.
Dude, so check this out. This is so
I'm super excited.
So embarrassing, bro.
Yeah.
So we had gone up. Me and a couple of buddies. JJ went up with me. A couple other buddies who shall remain anonymous. You know them both.
Mm-hmm.
And we went up to Joshua Tree, and I was helping one of my buddies, who's kind of like a little brother to me. I helped him through his first like mushroom experience, right? So we went out there to like trip on mushrooms, and like have this, you know, this beautiful awakening. Whatever. We went out, and we get out there, and he's having a hard trip. He's tripping hard. He's kind of panicking. And I'm like,
those are the worst.
And no, it wasn't that bad. He was just
bad.
He was scared.
No, they're really, really bad.
He was scared, you know, and I get it. I've been scared a million times.
Imagine having the worst existential panic attack.
Yeah, essentially.
And everything you look at is melting into fractals and stuff. You know, that's all you see is fractals.
And we're at Joshua Tree. It's a different planet up there. That's what it looked like. You know.
So y'all probably like temperature. Is it hot or?
No, it was beautiful. It was fresh. It was like a little bit cold, but we had jackets on and stuff. But
was it daytime?
But morning.
Oh.
So so he's sweating. It's cold. I mean, it's like fucking.
Oh.
it's like I don't know, 60 degrees, 50 degrees, and he's sweating buckets. He looks like shit, bro. He looks terrible, pale as fuck, and he's like, "Oh, I feel really shaky right now, bro. I feel really shaky." And I'm like, "Dude, you're fine. You look okay." He's like, and then everybody's looking. He's like, "Am I?" I'm like, "You're okay, bro." But he looked terrible. I didn't want to tell him that. So he's tripping, whatever. And he gets to the hardest part, yada yada yada. I got him through it, whatever. We get through it, and then he's like grateful, and he's having this beautiful experience, and you know, whatever. We get to the end of it, and then I was like, the other people that I was with, I kind of had to send them off because they were like, "Do you need something to eat? Do you need something to drink?" I was like, "Guys, get the fuck out of here. You're not helping his panic attack." So I call him back from the top of the rock. I was like, "Come back." And I was like, "Let's smoke a joint." Right? And this is something I didn't know. You learn. And fucking JJ, I'm going to call him out. JJ, I was like, "Let's smoke a joint." So we start smoking a joint. And we're still like, you know, we're still on shrooms, you know, and JJ's like a little bit weird. And we're like, he didn't want to admit this either.
Because he's weaving back and forth?
Yeah, I don't know. He looked a little weird. And I was like, "You all right?" And Andrew's like, "Are you all right, dude?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." And we're like, "Dude, like," we had like kind of half stood up. Like, he's like, no. He's like, "Get off me. Yo, I'm good. And I'm like, "All right." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." And he like rolls his eyes. And I was like, I thought he was fucking around. And he goes back, bro. And he's like falling. And we're on these rocks, bro.
Oh, shit.
And fucking Andrew's like, whoa, leaps. And he like catches him. And then I jump and I grab him. And he's out. Unconscious, bro. Like, he's like,
he would have fallen off?
I mean, he would have, I don't know. He had a backpack on. He was like upside down. He was safe. Probably would have hit. Probably. So he's out, right? And I'm like, oh shit. And I grab him and I'm like, and I grab him and I'm like, cool, I got you. And I'm I like hug this dude, and I'm like, cool, you're good. And he's like, breathing. And he's breathing, and I'm like, cool. I've been through a lot of crazy experiences like this, so I wasn't panicking. This is not, ayahuasca is way more intense. So as soon as I grab, I'm like, my ears start ringing, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, Andrew, we need to get this motherfucker on flat ground because I can't carry him. We got about 5 minutes for our blackout. And he's like, what? I was like, let's get him down. And Jay just kind of fighting us. I'm like, dude, just whatever. So we get him, and we lay him down. I was like, Andrew, I'll be all right. He's like, what? And I felt it coming on, and he's like, what?
Your eyes rolled at the back?
Oh, dude,
What kind of mushrooms are these?
Bro, I'll explain to you. So I'm out, bro. I'm like, and then and I'm like tripping hard, right? And this is by far the most intense mushroom experience I've ever had in my fucking life. And I come to, and I'm like, oh shit. I feel the blood rushing back to my face, and I tell Andrew, I'm like, oh, told you I'd be fine. And he's like, what the fuck, dude? So he was like panicking while I was unconscious. But my brother.
And that was his first trip?
Yeah. So, but I'm fine, right? But I'm like,
fuck you. What about him?
So yeah, I know. He was fine already. He'd already gotten past the hard part. So that all happened, right? I thought it was weird. I was like, this never happened to me before, but whatever.
What's with the ringing in the ears? That happens.
Yeah, when you black out, your ears start ringing right before. I always recognize the symptoms. Like your ears will start ringing, and then.
How often does that happen?
I mean, I've just partied a lot.
Oh, okay.
I just, like when you had like crazy shit. I mean, I've when I donated blood, I blacked out right before that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That was embarrassing too. All these are embarrassing. This isn't even a story. This is leading up to the story.
Okay.
So I was like, whatever. We had a good time after that. The psilocybin stays in your system for a while, right? And like
a month or something? Or?
No, like a few days.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, whatever. It's in your system. And this was like on a Saturday or Sunday or something like that. We were up in Joshua Tree, and then I came back down, and my buddy, who's been on the podcast, Jorge Diaz, he had a screening of a show that he's got on HBO. It's called High and Mighty. Just hilarious show. And a bunch of my friends are in it. Jorge's in it. Shakira's in it. Fucking JR's in it. Chelsea's in it. Bunch of people are in it. Whatever. We go to Warner Brothers, and we get there, and everybody's there. It's like, the cast, crew, the directors, everybody, whatever. We have this private screening, and then we leave, and when the screening's over, so we're like, all right, let's go somewhere. So we go to a restaurant down the street, right? Don Cuco or some shit. And we're there, and we get this back area. It's like 30 of us. And so right before we go in, I was like, I'm gonna smoke this joint. And I go outside and I smoke this joint, right? And then I'm in there. We order food. We get everything. I'm sitting next to Jorge. Director's in front of me. The writer, whatever. Everybody's there. And I'm like, my ears start ringing.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh fuck. I was like, Jorge. I squeeze Jorge's leg. I'm like, Jorge, I don't feel good, bro. And he's like, well, what's wrong? I was like, I'm good, all right. Just don't fucking panic. But I was like, I don't know if he's like, what's going on? And then after that, I just feel like the curtains of consciousness just.
Oh no!
And I'm coming to, like, I was in and out. It felt like I was blinking, but I was in and out for like 15 fucking minutes. And when I finally come to, I mean, there's people on the phone. They're like, I'm gonna call an ambulance. I'm gonna call a fucking ambulance. Dude. Dude, there's like the staff is running around.
Oh,
dude.
no.
Everybody's like up in their chairs, like, yo, is he all right? Is he breathing? Fucking Chelsea has ice on my neck, right?
Oh shit! Did you get goosebumps? Because I can.
Oh, fuck you. So she has ice on my neck, dude, and everybody's panicking, bro. And Chelsea's mom, and everybody, and I come back to, I'm like, I'm good. And I was assuring everybody, I was like, don't fucking call an ambulance, and because I don't get charged $5,000 or some shit, and then fucking Chelsea, no, we're not leaving, and like, but they don't want to, like, dude, your lips were blue. So I ended up like, I was like, what the fuck is this? I start looking shit up. And I find these threads, all these different threads on all these different like underground like blogs, or not blogs. They're like kind of, what are those shits called? Forums, bunch of forums, right? And apparently, when you take mushrooms, it's super common. If you smoke weed, it lowers your blood pressure, and it makes you pass out. And it's the same exact thing that happened. So I had never smoked weed while on mushrooms, right, until that time. And
I
then
feel
when
like every time I've done it, I've smoked.
well, yeah, but it's super, apparently it's common. Not only that, I don't really eat meat, so I'm sure my fucking iron is low, and I hadn't eaten shit. So my blood sugar was low. It was like a fucking, and it was the same thing. And it was the same thing when we went out to Joshua Tree. We fasted that morning before we took the shrooms. And it was the same thing. So, and I was just like, fuck, that's exactly. And the shit was still in my system. It was like a couple fucking days after.
Did you puke?
No.
Okay, cool. So nobody had to clean anything up.
No. But it was, dude. I mean, it was so embarrassing. God damn it. On that note, it's time for some hot seat questions. All right, let me pull it up. Hold on. I got some hot seat questions for you. All right, you're at a party, right?
Yeah.
You're catering an event, let's say.
Okay.
This is fucking 3 years ago or something, 5 years ago. You're catering an event. It's Mike Tyson's house, right? You go. I'm gonna go use the restroom. You go in the restroom, and then you go and you take a piss. You wash your hands, and then you're coming out, and then you come face to face with Mike Tyson, right?
In the bathroom?
Yeah, as you're leaving the bathroom, in the doorway, okay. And he puts a firm hand on your chest, and pushes you back in the restroom. Saying, no, let's go in here. What do you do?
What? I'd bite his fucking nose,
bro. What do you know? You don't know what he's gonna do yet. He's got a hand on his chest. Like,
dude,
no, let's go in here.
If he's pushed me backwards into the bathroom, he's trying to fuck me.
Do you think you're automatically
gonna
think
that? I'm not trying to get no
that?
cock sandwich.
Is that what you would do? You're not gonna bite his. He's Mike Tyson, bro. He could punch you unconscious if he wants to.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like the only thing I could do is bite his nose real quick.
I don't think you could get there, bro. I don't think you realize that Mike Tyson was a heavyweight champion of the world. He's very fast. Not anymore. He's very fast. You've never been a heavyweight champion of the world, Albie.
I was in a past life somewhere.
Bite his nose?
So if he pushed me back in the bathroom, what would I...
Just put a hand on your chest and he said, hold on, let's go back in.
So this question was, what would I do?
Yeah, what would you do, bro?
I would have to hear what he's saying next.
Okay. All right. So he's like...
Be like, so
let's run a scenario.
What's up?
Hey, so, I'm a little unpleased with the service you guys are providing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I figured we could have a little talk about it.
You'd have to talk to my manager because
but I want to talk to you right now.
I don't like the way you say fuck.
That
it sounds like suck. And it also sounds like fuck.
Those are nice pants.
Yeah. See, now it's just he's gonna fuck me.
Listen, what are you talking about? Who's he's? You have nice pants. I'm just telling you have nice pants.
I'm talking to Mike Tyson right now. Can I help you, sir? Like, I don't know if you need.
Listen.
Was it something with the hors d'oeuvres, or can I get you a glass of wine, maybe?
Listen, bro. I don't think you realize it. I don't trust it. You would get fucked immediately. You wouldn't do anything.
Look at me, like I'd be easy target. Dude, if I ever went to jail, I'd be somebody's bitch.
If you could be a rapper for a day, what would you, who would you be?
Like Kendrick Lamar.
Mm.
I just love his message, and I love how he's changed the sound of rap. I love how he's like Metamorphosis of the second album, like how he has such an amazing message with every song, and it's not just a fucking headbanger. Like whenever he had to make a like a radio jam and he did swimming pools, that shit it sounded dope.
Yeah, everyone
loved it, and then it was like about alcoholism, addiction, or just peer pressure, whatever it is to you.
Yeah.
But he had a message with it, and then that album. The whole album from start to finish is a whole story.
Yeah.
And dude, that album I listened to every time I was working on the weekends driving that fucking truck.
Oh, game truck.
The game truck.
I used to drive a game truck.
Dude, I did a lot of shit out here.
Listen, bro. So you're in the White House, and you're in Donald Trump's office, and him and Melania are having trouble, right?
Trouble with what?
Their marriage. They're fighting a lot.
Okay,
right.
That doesn't.
She doesn't
sound far off. Okay.
Okay. She doesn't like this whole, this whole presidency shit, and she kind of, she's over it. So, he wants relationship advice. What do you tell Donald Trump, bro?
I said, quit your job, bro.
You would not say that.
I would tell him to fucking quit and stop what he is doing.
I wish we could have a live poll right now and be like, would you say that?
First of all, he doesn't deserve any respect from me because he has zero respect for anybody or any entity. So if they were
fascinating.
having,
It's a real reflection of what America is.
And it's disgusting because like you can pull up like he's had a long history, right? Like he's been in the spotlight for a long time. You can pull up videos of him talking about if I ever would have run for presidency, I'd probably be a Republican because they're the most gullible and the most whatever easy.
Yeah.
And then like
how crazy is that?
So the other day
he does it, and then he fucking does it.
The other day I saw one. He's like giving a graduation speech, and he's like, if you ever feel like quitting, and you're up against that wall, just bust through that wall. And it's funny because the whole thing with he's trying to put up a wall right now, and he's like, if there's ever a wall, just don't give up and bust through it or go over it. And
that's what's gonna happen, Donald Trump.
And it's just so much hypocrisy.
It's
embarrassing to our nation. And I would say, bro,
I think he's a change agent, and it's painful. It's very painful. It's like painful to watch.
Change agent, dude. That's the nicest way to say it.
Yeah,
and I kind of like that. That's
because
nice,
I mean, what else are we gonna do? Because he's fucking.
But it's
a direct representation of what America is, man.
It's what we've needed though, because
because if we would have gotten what we wanted in a sense, well, we wouldn't, right? With Hillary Clinton, he wouldn't have awoken the masses. Like, did you see what was happening this last election? A bunch of people came on board, and what did they get? 40 seats? 40 seats in the House? Some shit.
Oh, the Democrats, they fucking won that business. So that's why I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
now they're
giving
him hell
because everybody's like, oh, it's a problem. It's like nobody gives a fuck about their health until they got cancer, right? And then they're like, oh, I gotta do something. That's what Donald Trump is.
But it's tough for me because I'm in Texas, man. So I see that like everywhere, and people that I actually enjoy company and stuff. I'm like,
let's just not talk about that. Yeah,
that's probably best.
Yeah, you know. That's what you would
Are you talking to me? Or?
No. I'm saying that's what you say.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, did you vote?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we probably didn't vote for the same guy because I voted for better,
sure
like for Texas."
Yeah.
And it just sucks that I have to like hear it so often, and like for him to be in like I saw this one blonde chick in this lifted ass truck, that was all in camo. And then it was a camo paint.
You're really fucking getting all the stereotypes.
Yeah, dude. And then in the back in pink camo, it said Trump 2020. And I'm like,
oh my god. I just think people don't. I don't think she knows. I don't
know, man. She doesn't know.
I would say we do some current events, but
I don't have a question for you too.
Oh shit, we got hot seat questions for the host.
Bro, it's like one of the OGs is back.
Yeah, my bad. Let's do it. I forgot about that.
For sure. All right, so what's more important to you? To achieve the goal that you've intended to, or to receive the praise?
Achieve the goal. For sure. If you would have asked me this 5 years ago.
But with the praise, you also get that money. You also get that glory. You also get that pussy, whatever is like the greatest goal that greatest award.
Yeah. Well, you know what I've been lucky to. I feel like all the craziest shit happens to me sometimes. I'm like, this is such a crazy fucking thing. Because I've gotten a chance to experience some of the dopest things.
And I think that comes with taking
taking chances.
Sorry, yeah,
100%.
And not going with
just being with girls that I'm like, God damn, like I can't even believe you're talking to me, bitch. Yeah, and I mean that with all due respect.
Ricky.
But I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, and having all, I've had money, I've had, whatever. We're at this hotel, we're flying in and out of here, we're doing this. And now I'm just like, I know what that's like. And for me now, it's, I don't know, I'm at this point in my life now where it's like, I seek purpose. And I just, I want to be like I want to be the person I think I am in my own head. You know what I mean? Like, if whoever the fuck I think I am in my head, I've been honest lately and being like, are you really this person? Mm-hmm. Are you really humble?
And that's the process of elimination I've been talking about.
Yeah.
It's like
auditing.
You take on so many different masks and then you're slowly like peeling them away and like, no, I don't want this hat. No, I don't do this. No. And I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But you have to take that chance. Go against the grain. Go against what's been.
And you might go back. You can always put a mask back on. You know what I mean?
So the whole thing that like can sum my whole experience up, because after that whole experience, now I've come into a place of like pure gratitude of what I love and do.
Yeah.
And I've learned so many lessons, and now all in all, like, I thought I came out here to just be an actor, but really I just came out here to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And acting was just one facet of it.
Yeah.
And I do now enjoy to do it.
Yeah.
And at first I did.
If you would have had that coming out here, it would have been a completely different journey.
Yeah, then
But it also makes you realize that you don't have to be anywhere in specific to make that happen.
Yeah, I think just you have to just find what it is that you love. Don't follow a passion, because passions get you in trouble. Like any relationship you've had.
I've followed a lot of passionate
just
girls.
find that curiosity, and then my curiosities, and if it can be summed up in something Gary Vee said, he says I get questioned all the time from like college students and stuff, like what should I be, what should I do with my life, and he tells them, go out into the world and fuck up. Go live in another country with like 4 friends, living in a bungalow, living off the beach. Like, do as much as you can of living. And then at 32, you can start all over and you will be good. And
it's still not even halfway, baby.
And I'm 32 now.
It's not even halfway.
And I can, like, it's funny how it happens when it does. And I heard it right as I turned 32.
Of course, yeah.
But that's what I love about life.
The
but
irony of it.
It's up to you if you're gonna have like an exciting life, like you were talking about. How crazy shit has always happened to me. But it's because I put myself out there, and I'm there to receive it.
100%.
And that means taking so many chances and like shots in the dark, and also actually eating shit.
Oh, you eating bags and bags of dicks.
Just baby dicks all day. You know? Just foreskin. You know, it sucks.
It's awful. But you kind of have to get to
but
that.
Your highs are so much higher. And it's like...
It makes you resilient, makes you tough, it makes you...
Because one goal for me in life was always... I know life is about... It's like a wavelength, ups and downs. But I wanted to have higher highs and higher lows. So instead of just doing this and going back from like 10 to 0, I'm going up to 10, down to 6. Going up to 15, going down to 10. Like higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah.
And it's all finally making sense as I'm back in LA, driving around, seeing my old home and shit, and being in a new mind state. And I guarantee you, my career is gonna bring me back here, because that's what I am. I'm learning. I'm a filmmaker, and I still love this area.
There's a big pool out here of people that you're bound to work
for
with.
sure. It's just inevitable.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. So with that,
next question.
Would you rather suck at what you love the most, or be the best at something people hate?
Be the best at something people hate.
So just complete like you're a fucking Hitler and you're just good at murdering.
Listen, motherfucker, why you gotta take it to the extreme?
Dude, this is my question.
This
is hot seat questions.
Listen, bro,
you're supposed to be getting
I'm thinking
hot
like I make
sweaty.
stupid ass videos, but they're the best stupid ass.
No, I'm talking about something people loathe. Like your hair. Would you rather be Rick Mancia or Donald Trump kind of thing?
I mean, I'm Rick Mancia, but
are you?
I mean, if I had a different... I wouldn't be Donald Trump with Rick Mancia's mindset, so I can't say I want to be him because...
Would you rather be Rick Mancia or Carlos Mencia?
No. Fuck this guy. This episode's over.
Yeah.
All right.
What about no current events, nothing?
No, we ain't doing current events. We're about an hour anyway. We just wanted... I wanted to touch base, guys. I wanted to get back and start recording again. We got another episode coming on next week. We got guests lined up. I mean, we're so behind. It's a lot of shit, guys. All right, we're figuring it out. But I wanted to have an episode at least to bring it back with my brother.
Thank you, man. This
Albie.
is awesome. This is
love
like
you,
life. I said full circle. Boom,
Full
back
circle.
here again. And it's been 2 years. And our boy Brian doesn't even know that I came into town.
Yeah.
Also, my little brother that I do Big Brothers Big Sisters, that Brian ended up taking over.
Yeah.
He doesn't know I'm in town.
Oh, damn.
Linda doesn't know I'm in town.
Nobody knows.
So I'm meeting her on Saturday if you want to come to the brewery. So here in a bit, we're going to go to Brian's house.
Surprise that motherfucker.
And we're going to surprise that dude. And so I was just thinking, like, what's the most outlandish thing that I could do?
Yeah, we'll post it.
But what if we don't do it? I'll say it now.
Okay.
And then in case we don't do it. And so I was thinking, like, what if he gets home and Dominique Doe, his girl, is like, Brian, come here. There's a guy in his backyard and he won't stop flossing. And I'm just in the motherfucking backyard, maybe a hoodie on, some kind of funny mask, and I'm just flossing my ass off. Making some awkward ass eye contact.
I can't even do it while I'm sitting. It's hard.
But I was thinking even just like turned away. But I don't know how we'll surprise him, but it's going to be a nice surprise. And then we'll surprise my little brother tomorrow, Key.
Boom.
And then our girl on Saturday.
Yeah. Boom. All right, guys. Episode 71. It's going to be back. We'll be back next week.